Welcome back, everybody, to the Rope Break. I am your host, Jeff Wolf. I am alongside Eric Vanek, and we are here to talk about all things professional wrestling.
Yeah, well, there's some interesting topics that me and Jeff want to talk about today. I kind of texted Jeff today and was like, I want to do a podcast today because I have some stuff I would like to talk about.
Which usually doesn't happen. It's usually the other way around where I'm like, hey, let's get this going. Let's get this week's done. But so it's exciting for you to actually have some things you want to get off your chest.
Yeah, they're not necessarily good things, but...
Well, let's be honest. Right now in professional wrestling, is there really anything good outside of Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, the C Nation, baby.
C Nation. All right. Well, did you want to? Let's start with you. Let's start. What's on your mind?
Oh, the big one that I want to start with today. There's obviously the one big one that was dropped on us last evening, but I want to start with something else that's been rolling downhill for months and months, and that would be the state of TNA wrestling.
A TNA state of address, huh?
Yeah, like, if people are just oblivious to it, what's been going on lately is they've been having, I mean, it's been like this for probably a year, if not more.
I don't know about a year.
I would say
when did we go to that show?
That was in August. Well, it's all. I mean, it's like 8 months. We'll say.
Yeah, it's probably like 7-8 months.
So, you know, they've been cutting back a lot on talents and even production. There's people complaining that they're not even getting their frickin' paychecks on time, and it's like it's almost like an ECW all over again. They're just not getting paid. Promises of being paid, but not getting it. And TNA is just really tight on money. And the first sign of that was pretty much letting everybody that was a big money star go. You've had Hulk Hogan walk out. You've had Sting walk out. You've had
Mickey James.
Mickey James has walked out. AJ Styles has walked out. They haven't renewed the contracts of Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian. Chavo Guerrero was another one that was let go. Just today I read that Hernandez was let go.
They offered Saban a deal, but it was a much lesser deal.
Saban's gone. I mean, that's just 10 names I just named off the top right there.
And those are huge names. Those are big names that carry this company for a while.
Yes. I mean, right now, if I'm just a casual wrestling fan that doesn't know, you know, everything about wrestling, like, you know, we say we do.
Yeah.
You know, the only big names that are out there that is there right now is Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, Bully Ray. I mean, if you're, you know, just a casual fan, those are the three big names that you would know. Some people might not know who Bobby Roode is or Samoa Joe, but seriously, after those five, it's tough. I don't really
like after those five, you got someone like Rockstar Spud, who's a main guy on the show every week.
You know, EC3. I mean, I love EC3 and what he does. Yeah. I'm glad he got it.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, they use them. Austin Aries is another very talented guy, but I think he's just in hot water. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone here soon and goes back on the indie scene.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised just to see his profile just completely removed one day.
James Storm is another big one of theirs that he actually. It was funny because recently on TNA's Facebook page, within the last month, I don't remember exactly when, but they actually showed pictures of like 2 or 3 stars signing their new contracts with TNA, new deals. And I just found it funny because they're cutting off everybody and all that. So I'm guessing like these guys know that if they get let go, they might not have a future. So they just took the money that they could now.
Yeah, but I don't get it either. Like, why would you offer someone like, and I love James Storm, but why would you offer someone like him a huge deal?
Who knows if it was huge, though? Nobody knows what the numbers were.
That's yeah.
I would guarantee you it's I wouldn't be surprised if those guys take a pay cut just to keep their job. I bet you that was the ultimatum they were kind of given, like, look, we're either going to cut you or you got to take a pay cut. And I think those guys said, well, instead of going back and working on the indie scene, because, I mean, James Storm has a kid. You know, I'm sure he doesn't want to be on the road doing indie shows every weekend.
Yeah.
And Robbie E. was the other one that I saw, and he's got a hot girlfriend in Brooke Tessmacher. I know he doesn't want to be on the road away from that. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
And,
that'll be gone in a flash.
Yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't gone already.
I don't know how that even happened. Good for him.
He's a decent looking guy. I guess I can see how. So
he's such a douchebag, though.
It's just the gimmick, though.
No,
I think
it's not just a gimmick. I have met him. He is an asshat. He is one of the most obnoxious, douchebaggy-ish guys I have ever met in this business. You know what? I don't care.
What did he do?
He's just an asshole.
What did he do, though?
He's just the way he talks to people and the way that he just makes himself think that he's better than everyone else. Like there's like working your gimmick. But if you're working your gimmick before the show's even going on and you're just out there just signing autographs, because like at TNA live shows, they do that. They, like, beforehand, or at least they did. I mean, TNA is in such a crap hole now, they probably don't even do this.
Well, I mean, it's like going to a blast from the past. It's like going to a Prime Wrestling show where all the wrestlers are there beforehand. Because there's only 60 people that show up to a TNA house show.
Yeah, but, like, he won't even talk to kids. Like, he won't even look at the kids in the face. He's just got his shades on. He looks down. He has his hand out. Just give him this thing, and he signs it, and he gives it back, and he goes to the next person. Like, he's just an idiot. And you know what? I hate him. I really do. And there's not many people that – how did this turn into a rant? I don't know. But, yeah, I don't care for him at all. And I wish him nothing but bad things in the business. And you know what? Good for him that he gets to be on TNA this long. He'll be known as one of the guys that made this ship get even sunker into the bottom of the pit.
So, yeah, that's basically where we were going with this. And what I really wanted to ask out of this is really how much longer do they have? I honestly believe they're on life support right now.
Yeah.
They are. If they last till December 31st, I will be shocked. Absolutely shocked if they can make it until the end of the 2014 year.
Like, I don't know. There was a point in time where they could have sold the company and there would have been enough good still within the company that it was repairable. At this stage, it's not repairable. It's just,
I mean, you would have to.
This is like WCW. This is like WCW at a time where it's like at the end where you knew it was just. This is worse than WCW in my book. I mean, people can bash WCW all they want. I understand that WCW isn't as amazing as I paint it in my head, but this is by far the worst I've ever seen at the end of a professional wrestling company.
Yeah, one that's on TV every week, on national television every week. I mean, I honestly really believe I don't think they're going to make it until the end of the year. I mean, I just don't see it.
I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised they're still going.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like they have to legally because of the contract with Spike.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe once that Spike deal runs out, then they're just going to be like, because no one's going to pick them up.
No
one would pick them up.
No, not even C-SPAN would pick them up.
Not even TV Guide Network.
Yeah, like, could you imagine, like, interrupting, like, a senator speaking, and, okay, well, we're interrupting the senator speaking to bring you TNA Impact Wrestling.
We have a great main event for you tonight, Rockstar Spud.
Yeah.
Versus Eric Young for the world title.
Rockstar Spud versus a returning Shark Boy for the world heavyweight title.
Oh, and the worst part is I was one of the very biggest TNA supporters like there was. Like,
yeah,
I absolutely love TNA. I really do.
You were one of the originals that would spend the $9.95 every Wednesday night and buy the pay-per-views.
Yeah, and those were awesome pay-per-views.
Yeah, and I remember kind of watching them with you. I was such a junkie that I would watch it on my TV, even though I couldn't buy pay-per-view on the TV that I had, I would watch the scrambled version and just listen to the audio.
Yeah.
I was that much of a junkie. And
your drug was scrambled wrestling.
Yeah, I know, right? But there was one WrestleMania one year where, like, I guess, like, Time Warner or whoever it was messed it up, and everybody in the world got WrestleMania for free that was on that network. So I actually got to watch WrestleMania one year for free. That was kind of cool.
Oh, really? That's awesome. The only thing I can compare that to is there was a WCW pay-per-view, I think, in 1999, and I didn't get the video, but I got the complete audio. Like, it was perfectly clear audio, so I actually listened to the WCW pay-per-view just as if, like, it was on the radio.
Nice. But back on the topic as we're getting off topic.
Like we always do.
There was a report of today that came out of Jerry Lawler is trying to get Memphis Wrestling, or I forget what the full name of it is, but the Memphis Wrestling video library to be bought by the WWE and used on the WWE network. So this brings my question to you is, do you think WWE should buy out TNA just to have their video library and maybe a couple wrestlers? Kind of like how they did with WCW. Would it benefit the WWE?
I think. Well, I don't know if it would benefit the WWE because I don't see people just joining the network just because they bought the library. On a personal note, I would absolutely love it.
Well, you got to think though, to sell. You had Sting, you've had Christian, you've had Hulk Hogan, you've had Flair was in TNA. All these other guys that you could possibly sign. If Jeff Jarrett, if they ever want to do a Jeff Jarrett DVD, my goodness, he could have some great stuff. Just like all the the TNA wrestling moments, like they could do like a best of cruiserweight DVD. And just have WCW, TNA cruiserweight matches, WWE cruiserweight matches, all blended into one DVD. That would be really cool.
Oh yeah, I'd love it. I mean, with this network, I don't know how in demand these DVDs are going to be, which is going to be interesting to see. I personally love compilation DVDs still, even having the network. Like last night, I watched Volume 1 ECW DVD. Even though I have all the matches on the network right now, I'm someone that still would love to have a collection of just awesome matches just put together. Now, if there was a feature on the network where you could just like throw together 20 things and create your own kind of DVD, that would be awesome. But to answer your question, I think it would be beneficial. Especially, because of those DVDs, because of the people that have been with the company. You have the Hardys, you have the Dudleys. You would still be able to put together a lot of great stuff, especially like the X Division stuff and some of the early kind of gimmicky matches TNA did do. I think they'd be able to. Yeah. I think it'd be beneficial, and I think they'd make money on it. And I'd personally absolutely love it if they were able to put some of that stuff on the network. Because even though that's the beautiful thing of the network. It's like it's the WWE network, but I probably watch as much or maybe more ECW and WCW stuff than I do the WWE. But it's awesome to have all those things there. So to have a network that just has all of the main kind of wrestling programs on one application, if you will, would be amazing. I still want Ring of Honor to even be on there.
Yeah. So, yeah, but, TNA is really just a sinking ship. Just to end this topic, I think we both would be surprised if they last until the end of the year.
Yeah, every month that now passes is going to surprise me. But I think it more has to do right now with the contracts that they're in. So I really wonder if the WWE is really making a serious offer to buy them out. Like, I don't think they would.
I would personally enjoy it, but I don't know if they would or not.
Yeah, I would enjoy it too.
TNA just needs to be put out of its misery.
I think Vince is the kind of guy that is going to wait as long as he possibly can and pick it up at the least price that's even possible.
Okay. All right, Jeff, what else do you got for us to talk about?
I don't have too much today. The TNA thing was the big thing for me. Something small I wanted to bring up, and it's always interested me, is just talking about how whenever a long-time or popular wrestler passes away, how the WWE takes care of their family or their wife. Like a report came out today that Big Daddy V's wife made like a Facebook post or something saying that she was taken care of by the WWE for years, and that she'll never need anything because of how generous they were. And Big Daddy V didn't even die in a WWE ring. But it's like they've done that with him. They've done that with, I mean, look at Vicky Guerrero. Vicky Guerrero is probably the biggest person to benefit from her husband passing away. Like, she was not only was that family taken care of, she has been on WWE television like maybe I don't even know if it was like a full year after Eddie had passed away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just always amazed me, like, because I mean, I give Vince a lot of crap of being an asshole, because he is, but he does have a lot of money, and through stuff like this and through doing stuff for like putting former wrestlers through rehab, he really does do some nice things in that kind of way.
Yeah, he definitely does. I mean, Warrior's another one. He's been taking care of their family. I know they sent out like agents and stuff to help Warrior's wife with the little things, taking the kids to school and, grocery shopping and just little things like that. Mm-hmm. So WWE has always done a good, you're a part of that family. It is a big family. So, I mean, it's definitely great to see that they do that.
Yeah. What else was I going to say? Yeah, like even Owen Hart's wife. I don't know how well she was taken care of because of how negative she is towards the business, but I would have to imagine she was taken care of at least a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I would say so.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. For some reason, it just always interested me.
Yeah.
It's a slow week.
Well, this one wasn't very slow because last night on Raw, Daniel Bryan came out and cut a promo pretty much basically saying that he is going to be out for a little bit. He has to have neck surgery. I guess from what I read, it is a broken neck, but it's just like a slight break in his neck, and he has to have surgery on it. They think it's going to be 1 to 2 months, but they won't know until they actually go in there. It's really sad for Daniel Bryan. He's worked this hard, and I almost didn't believe it at first. Like, I just thought it was another thing the Authority was just throwing at us. Be like, haha, here, Daniel Bryan won the title, now I'm taking it away from him and making him work for it again. Like, I just kind of felt like it was like that a moment, but I mean, it's actually, really serious. He could be out even longer than 1 to 2 months. It's really unfortunate because he's on such a hot streak. He's finally got the title. Even though he's in a the feud's been okay, I guess. It's kind of been interesting a little bit, but it's like same old Kane stuff.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, all right, this is a loaded thing because this is two things that I need to bring up. The first thing is I actually didn't watch Raw live last night. I watched it delayed, but I got a text notification from an app saying that the WWE announced that Daniel Bryan has to have neck surgery. So getting that report, I felt it was serious, and they're saying that he's not going to give up the title, that he's just going to be out like 2 to 3 weeks. To me, that sounds like BS.
Yeah, see, I heard 1 to 2 months.
Okay, even a month. I mean, come on, a freaking broken neck, like. Wow. That's not just like a sprain or something, or
yeah. And then I heard
even like a broken arm or something is different.
Yeah, I heard even the big plan right now might even be to have him come back at SummerSlam would be his next match.
Well, maybe Dave will stay around a little bit.
Well, I hope not.
But yeah, I mean, if he is out this long, then it's just like, God, can this guy have the worst luck ever? I mean, he's been through so much to finally get this company to get behind him, and I mean, yeah, it's the fans that really did it for him, but it's just it sucks because it's such an uphill battle for him, like he said last night. It really was. Like,
Yeah, he's
everything,
not
everything was against him.
Yeah, he's not the typical size. He's a small guy. Came from the Indies. He wasn't WWE homegrown. He's had everything against him, and everyone's been against him. He's like, CM Punk was in a way, same way.
Yeah.
And because WWE didn't make him, he got kept down.
Yeah, and people hated Punk because he had that King of the Indies stigma on him, and then Daniel Bryan was like the new King of the Indies.
Yeah, and it's like they always they get mad at people for doing the indie stuff. Like, how else are they supposed to learn and do their craft? Like, this is the only way they're going to get better. It's like, not everybody has the opportunity to go down to the Performance Center and just join, WWE and get bitched at by Bill DeMott while you're doing stuff in the ring.
Not everyone's a legacy.
Yeah.
For most people that want to try to make it in this business, you can't just take your tape into WWE and then be like, oh, okay, sure, we'll bring you into developmental. No, you have to pay your dues the old school way. And you know what? It's like, I wish we could talk about territories, because territories to me were the greatest thing in the absolute history of professional wrestling. And it made things so much more interesting than what we have today. And it's like, in a sense, there still is territories, just on a very, very, very smaller scale. And you have to pay your dues in the indies, and you have to make a name for yourself. And good for you to be able to make yourself so popular that you are popular with such a huge fan base, and you're not even on TV. Like, they just know you from the internet and DVDs, like the old school way with ECW. And it's like, WWE hates that. They hate that, like you are so good that you are known outside of WWE. It's like they resent you for the fact that they're not the ones that made you this popular. Yeah. And it just pisses me off. But on the actual thing of the speech last night, I thought it was reminding me of Edge a lot, because it's like he was very emotional, and it was almost like he lost his smile, Shawn Michaels style.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully he's not out too long, but I don't see how he doesn't just give up the title.
I know, because it makes that Raw we're going to like next month pretty much going to be really crappy.
Well, here's my theory on that: is I think he'll be there, he just won't wrestle.
Yeah, I guess I'll take that over anything. But
yeah, I mean, at least he'll be
we're
there.
We're just gonna have to see John Cena.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna want to kill
myself. Love
myself.
Me some C Nation.
Yeah, well, you better wear your C Nation T-shirt.
I am. I'm gonna glow in the fucking dark too with it. But the spin-off to this question is, if Daniel Bryan does have to give up the title, how should the WWE handle that? Is there two contenders you think that should do it, or how do you think they should do it?
I think if they do end up going that route, I think they'll have a tournament.
That's what I would love to see, a one-night pay-per-view tournament at a pay-per-view. Like they did at, was it Survivor Series 97 or 98 where The Rock won it that one night? I think that's when he joined the corporation.
Yeah, where it was like Rock versus, I think it was Mankind.
Yeah, I would love to see that again. That literally hasn't happened since that night.
Yeah.
They've never done a one-night pay-per-view tournament for the world title, since then. So I would absolutely love that. So I'll ask you this.
Actually, King of the Ring would be coming up, wouldn't it?
Kind of.
When was King of the Ring? Was it in July?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it would be a little bit too far. But yeah, okay. I do hope they do a tournament.
Well, I would rather see it on a pay-per-view, though, to be honest.
Oh, I would too, but
who do you think? If I would assume it would be an 8-man tournament.
Yes.
Who are the 8 guys that you would like to see? Or if you want me to go first, I'll go first.
Oh wow, that's definitely putting me on the spot. 8 guys.
All right, I'll go first. I think John Cena, obviously.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt has earned a spot.
Yes.
Roman Reigns has earned a spot.
Yeah.
You would have to put Randall Orton in there.
Yep. Yeah, that's Batista.
4.
If he stays.
I'm not even putting him in there because I don't think he stays.
Okay.
So I would go Randall Orton, Cena, Bray, and Roman Reigns.
Mm.
I would put Sheamus, I guess, would have to be in there just because he's a name.
Yeah, and he's
So
Triple H's
5.
buddy.
Yep, so there's 5. I wouldn't even mind seeing Triple H in it. So there would be 6. And let's see.
They'd probably put Kane in there, too.
Unfortunately. So there's 7. And one more. Oh.
I'd like to see them put another person of the Shield in there. Like, put, like, Seth Rollins in there.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see that.
Oh, but you know what? But there's also Cesaro.
Yeah, Cesaro's in there. There's, Rollins, Ambrose.
Maybe throw in Rusev.
Rusev is another guy. I mean, honestly, though...
He is not getting over, by the way.
No. And this is the thing that I would love to see happen, is if they did this tournament and the last match of the evening, the main event, Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight title.
That would be fantastic. And hopefully the crowd would actually get behind it this time.
That right there, I believe, is your future of the company, those 2 guys. Those are your 1 and 2 guys, your top heel, top face right now of young guys that could be the next John Cena type players.
Yeah.
So somebody would have to beat Cena. Somebody would have to beat Orton. Somebody would have to beat Triple H. Somebody would have to beat Randy Orton, and all them guys just to make that happen, to make Bray versus Roman Reigns. It would just make for an epic night. I personally would love to see Bray Wyatt win it, but I'd be happy with either or winning it.
Yeah, I mean, God, with all this stuff with John Cena and Bray, I haven't even thought if Bray would be ready to be in that next level.
I think there's no doubt. The guy can wrestle. He's proven he can wrestle. He's almost had like the best match of the pay-per-view, ever since Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to argue against him not being in the best match at every pay-per-view this year.
And that would be a huge test because on the flip side with Roman Reigns is they have put him in that small window in the matches. Like they have, like Seth is the dark horse in the Shield matches. Seth and then Dean gets in there and does his thing a little bit too. And then at the very end they bring in the main event with Roman, and Roman cleans up and does his thing. So it'd be interesting to see him start to have actual like 15, 20-minute main event matches and to see how well he does.
Yeah. And I would eat that up if Roman and Bray were.
I'd love it, but it's like I just can't see them having that many top guys lose in the same tournament on the same night.
I'd love it. I would love it. But you got to think though, back then The Rock was a young upstart guy like a Roman Reigns, like a Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
mean, they've done it before. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin lost in that tournament. And
I would hope they would do it.
Yeah, so
they need to start not burying the young talent. Like, don't make this WCW. Don't make the same mistakes that.
Well, they kind of are, because look at
Damien
Sandow. He's a very, very talented worker, and he's in JTG territory.
Yeah, he's getting there.
Dolph Ziggler went all the way down, and now he's slowly building back up. Zack Ryder was used for like a half a year, was the U.S. champion, and you don't even see him on TV anymore. I mean, Zack Ryder had a huge following. Like, people loved him. They were, like, all over him. And that is just quickly, like, WWE just squashed that. Like, no, we didn't make that gimmick for you, and you did it on your own. Screw you. We're screwing you over. And, it's bull crap.
They took a small amount of money from that whole gimmick and everything, and because they busted out a whole lot of Zack Ryder merchandise for a while, and people were eating it up, and then they just killed it.
Yeah, they just took him off TV. I mean, look at Big E Langston. They were making him out to be, he was going to be the guy that was going to challenge Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Heel versus face. And that's completely fallen off. Like, Big E is like, now Big E is, being reduced to getting job to Alexander Rusev.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it seems they're going to have a Rusev versus Big E feud, but before that, I really wouldn't have even been surprised to see Big E just back on NXT.
With how much time they've put in the Rusev and building him up, it would make no sense for Big E to win that feud at all.
Yeah.
Like, it would just squash Big E. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, obviously Rusev is just going to win that feud.
Yeah,
they're bringing him up, and then Big E just goes down lower and lower.
Rusev the next Ryback.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
I mean, I still think Ryback has talent. I mean, he's terrible on the mic, but the dude was over as a face. I mean, he was.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, he can't talk worth crap, but he has that big look. He has the singlets that look cool.
He looks like he performs like Batista. Batista was terrible on the mic. Ryback is terrible on the mic, but they're just these big goon superstars,
Yeah.
So, but enough about that topic. What else you got for us?
I only have one other thing.
All right, hit
and
it.
This is the history topic.
All right, hit me with it.
It's a big topic, and it's actually kind of cool because we've been talking a lot about ECW today, and you didn't even know that this was going to be the history topic.
ECW.
And my question to you is, because it is a loaded question, because there's a lot of parts of this. There's a lot of layers of ECW. Because me personally, I think about this all the time with ECW because I was a big fan. But personally to you, how do you think they could have survived after, I mean, just through everything? What could they have done differently? And how could they have survived to actually be on TV, to actually be performed as a main company and not looked at as a joke, like with the Nashville Network and everything like that? And do you think that there's ever going to be a company again that will rival what ECW ever did?
Well, I think what they could have done better was if they would have read my blog post of how I did the network.
That's true. Your network was good.
Hell yeah.
It actually was really good. And I don't like to give you too much credit on stuff like that, but it actually was a whole lot better than ECW's actual network.
Like, I honestly think they could have made that, like, a great kind of stable. Like, the whole, like, it was kind of like Right to Censor a little bit, before Right to Censor.
Yeah.
Like, it was like the network telling you can't do this, you can't do that, and it was basically a figurehead in Cyrus the Virus, basically telling ECW, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't, she can't look like this, and blah, blah, blah. And, like, it could have really taken off. But I think...
You think they should have not have been as hardcore along the way?
No, because that's what made them what they are.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously, nothing they could have changed, but they should have paid their employees on time. But there's nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah. Do you think it was a mistake to, like, do the ECW magazine and get, like, the ECW video game and stuff like that, or do you think it was just naturally a part of what they had to do?
That's how you need to expand your brand. You need to have action figures and video games and magazines and merchandise. You need to have that stuff. Your fans want that stuff, I remember going to Kmart's and Walmart's and stuff and seeing, like, just incredible ECW figures, even though they were really crappy and they looked like those Bendham guys. I forget what those are called.
Yeah. I think I still have my Shane Douglas and Taz ones.
Yeah. And, those were big deals back then. And so you needed that kind of stuff. It was just like, I really don't know what they could have done different. I mean, obviously pay their employees, but, they couldn't really do that. Man, I really don't know. What do you think?
this is something that I honestly think about all the time because I was a huge ECW fan. Like I remember just like staying up till 2 or 3 in the morning, and there was a New York station on DirecTV that would just randomly put on ECW. So I, growing up, was a huge ECW fan, and I really don't know what they could have done. I mean, obviously, yeah, paying your employees would have been done better. I really think they just. I think Paul was so excited that they were able to get on TNN in like any way, to be on a network in any way. And I really think he should have just not taken that deal. And which is hard to say because it's like, how are you going to just deny your first big TV deal to get on TV? But I mean, I don't think it has to do with like the magazine and the video games and the figures and stuff like that. I think because I think you just have to do that. You have to advance your product in some way. And it drives me crazy when they do these documentaries and like Vince McMahon says that Paul had to make the company a more normal kind of company so that a more broad fan base is attracted to it. ECW had a huge following and a huge fan base. They did things that no other company could. I mean, they didn't need to call it really.
Well, I understand what Vince is coming from with that is your casual women and children, moms aren't going to let their kids watch ECW, blood and gore all over the place. They're just not going to let them watch that willingly and knowingly, most parents, I would hope. And your casual female fan isn't gonna watch and be like, oh, look at Sandman, he's sexy. Oh, look at Rhino, he's really sexy. Look at look at Big Dick Dudley, he's sexy. There's like your casual woman loves, like right now, John Cena, Randy Orton, good looking guys.
Yeah.
ECW didn't attract those people because they had. I'm sure they had decent-looking dudes, but
they had some.
Not like on the caliber of John Cena and Randy Orton and stuff like that. And you didn't have the little kids buying into it because it was too extreme.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Vince is coming from. Is it attracted a certain group of people, which was males, pretty much 18 to 49, and it didn't attract any females and it didn't attract any children. So I think that's where Vince is coming from with that, is they needed to have that women and children demographic to, sell even more and have more support.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I don't think Paul would have been able to change how he did things. I don't think he's able to go back on spending so many years, like from like 94. I guess it's funny to say so many years. It seems like a whole lot more years than it actually was. But to spend as much time as he did to build up the company in the way that he did after Eastern Championship Wrestling transferred to Extreme Championship Wrestling, I just don't think you're able to change the model that much to garner those kind of fans. And at that point, you're kind of like, well, you know what? Let's just suck it up and we won't just win those kind of fans. So, I mean, I get what he's saying, but also you can't change your whole company because then you're just a normal company. And the greatest part about ECW is that its appeal was so different than WCW and WWF.
What I loved about ECW is they listened to the fans. If they didn't like something, they changed it.
Yeah.
And instead of there's always on the ECW documentary and stuff. Like, they didn't BS the fans. Like, when Sabu broke his neck, they showed how he broke... Was it Sabu or Taz? They showed how he broke his neck. And they're, like, doing, like, John Madden, like, drawing on the screens and showing him how they broke his neck and stuff. Like, they didn't say... they didn't do some BS storyline like, oh, no, Sabu got attacked by so-and-so, so he's going to be out recovering from his injuries. No, they came out, and Sabu or when Rob Van Dam broke his leg, that was another big thing about TNN, by the way, because that's when Rob Van Dam broke his leg going into TNN.
And that's when RVD was at his absolute highest.
Yeah, so they didn't have RVD there for a few months.
Probably in both ways.
Yeah. So they had, that going for them, and it's like, they never BS their fans. They told you how it was. If they didn't like something, they changed it. If they cheered for somebody, like, you look at a guy like Mikey Whipwreck. I mean, he wasn't great at all. He was terrible. But the fans were so behind him, and they made Mikey Whipwreck a star. The fans could make and break people in ECW.
You're right.
They booed the crap out of Tommy Dreamer when Tommy Dreamer first started off, and Tommy Dreamer earned their respect, and Tommy Dreamer is like the heart and soul of ECW when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you think of ECW, he's one of the first 3 names you think of.
Yeah, and it's incredible to also think where they would be now if they were able to survive through everything. And they would have had to have a huge break somewhere along the way to stay in business now. And it would have changed the business in so many different ways.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you would have never had Paul Heyman in WWE. I mean, Paul Heyman has done so much good work in WWE as a manager, as a announcer. It was him and Jerry, was it him and King there for a while when
JR.
When JR left because of his cerebral palsy. It was just, Paul Heyman was, if he was never in WWE, I mean, things would really have changed.
Yeah. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week, unless you got anything else.
No, I think that's about it.
All right, everyone. Well, we had an awesome time talking about everything that's been going on, and then talking about this historic topic. Make sure if you want us to bring up a topic to let us know on the YouTube channel, as well as on our Twitter.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.